This week we're going to make some food to eat while we watch our brackets fall apart. So we have some mozzarella sticks coming at you, wings 2 ways, and some jalapeno poppers. So for the mozzarella sticks, you're going to need some string cheese, fresh mozzarella works also. We also have some flour, some milk, and a few eggs for the batter, and some basil, garlic, and oregano for the batter also. Now a lot of the ingredients for the batter we're going to recycle, so we're going to use that also for the chicken. I have 2 chicken breasts. In addition, I'm going to use some black pepper and some lemon pepper. For the sauce, we have some fresh lemon, we have some sriracha and some honey. And then for the jalapeno poppers, I have about 8 or 10 jalapenos, some bacon, and some cream cheese. So stick around and we'll see how it's done. That made a bigger mess than I thought it was going to. So we're going to start with the mozzarella sticks. And the reason why, because the mozzarella sticks are going to take the longest to cook. So what I have are about 8 string cheeses. I have some flour that I've seasoned with some basil, some oregano, and some garlic powder. I have 3 eggs that I've beaten together with 3 tablespoons of milk. And then I have some breadcrumbs that I've also seasoned with some of the garlic, some of the basil, and some of the oregano. So we're going to double batter these. So we'll just take a string cheese and then coat it pretty well in the flour, and then shake off any excess. And then dip it in our egg wash. And then we'll get it in the breadcrumbs. And it's like a little assembly line. You just go flour, eggs, breadcrumbs. Make sure everything gets nice and coated, shake off any excess, and then we're going to run it through a second time. So we're going to double batter everything. You get your flour on a second time, get it back in the eggs, and then once more in the breadcrumbs. And then we're just going to do this 8 more times. And then I'll show you what to do next. As you can see, we've double battered all of the mozzarella sticks. Now what we're going to do is take them and throw them in the freezer for about an hour, and then we'll get started on the chicken. Alright, so we have the mozzarella sticks going in the freezer right now. So what we're going to do is take these 2 chicken breasts and cut them up into wing-sized bites. Now what I've done is I've already cut all of the fat and unnecessary little bits off the chicken, so you may need to do that before you get to it. So I'm just going to cut these down into manageable bite-sized pieces and just batter them the same way that we did the mozzarella sticks. Alright, so we have the chicken cut up into bite-sized pieces now, and I went ahead and added about 2 tablespoons of lemon pepper and about a tablespoon or so of black pepper to our flour mixture here. And now we're just going to take the pieces and batter them the same way that we did the mozzarella sticks, but we're not going to use any breadcrumbs this time because we're going for wings, not for mozzarella sticks. So I took a handful at a time, just a small handful. Shake off any excess. Alright, so we've got all of the chicken battered. We just went flour, egg, back to flour. Now what we're going to do is wrap it up and let it sit in the refrigerator for about a half hour. I'm just going to wrap it up with some foil, but cling film works also. We'll get this station cleaned up and then we'll come back and do some jalapeno poppers. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do for the jalapeno poppers is preheat our oven to 425 degrees. Now side note, I also have 2 pots of oil going to fry the wings at. I'm using soybean oil or vegetable oil, and it's important to always know the smoke points of your oils. So for soybean oil, it's about 450 Fahrenheit. Now we're trying to cook these wings at about 350 Fahrenheit. So when the oil gets to about 375, I'll put some chicken in because the chicken's going to cool the oil a little bit. So I'll wait until it gets to about 375, but it's important to always monitor the temperature of your oil or you could have a kitchen fire. Ask me how I know that. So what I have here is a temperature gun, but a candy thermometer works great. So it's always really useful to have that, just as a safety note and as a measure to make sure you're frying your chicken at the correct temperature. So we're going to closely monitor that as we go. So with the jalapenos, I'm just going to take it like this and cut it in half lengthwise, long ways. I'm not cutting the stems off or anything like that. And the reason being is because when we throw these in the oven and the cream cheese is inside, we don't want all that cream cheese to leak out because we've cut the tops off. So I'm just going to cut them all in half lengthwise. And now this is the fun part. So you have a few different ways you can get this out. You can grab a knife or a spoon and dig it out. I'm just going to get right in there with my fingers. The thing about doing it this way is that if you have any cuts or anything like that on your hands, you're going to find out real fast. because the juices of this jalapeno will get in there, and it'll tell you unquestionably whether or not you have some sort of abrasion on your hand or not. But I find it's the fastest and most effective way to get the middle of these jalapenos out. So what we're doing now is digging the inside out, all the seeds and all of the inside parts of the jalapeno. And I'm just going to turn it over on its side like this, because we're about to brush it all with olive oil. Alright, so we have all of our jalapenos cut in half. Now what I have here is a little bit of garlic olive oil. And I'm going to take this pastry brush and just kind of brush the back of it, because we're going to roast these in the oven. And this is kind of going to help us roast these jalapenos a little bit. Now if you don't have garlic infused olive oil, any olive oil will work. I'm just going to give it a quick brush on the back. We're not trying to drench it in olive oil or anything. We're just trying to get a little coating on the back. So what we're going to do now is, I've had an 8-ounce package of cream cheese sitting at room temperature all day, and it's softened and it's come to room temperature. I've mixed that with about 8 ounces of nacho cheese mix. So it's just a pre-shredded cheese that I got from a package. And I'm going to use my rubber spatula here, and then just fill these bad boys up as much as I can with some cream cheese. And I like to do this with the rubber spatula because not only is it good for portioning it out, but it's also really good at leveling it off once they're full. So we're going to take these and fill these up, and then we'll roast them in the oven at 425 for, I'd say, about 20 minutes, or until the tops start to brown and get caramelized, and they'll be just about ready to eat. Alright, so the jalapenos are full of the cream cheese mixture that we have, and then I've just taken a little bit of bacon and chopped it up. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of bacon on top, or do a lot of bacon if you're a big bacon fan. These are up to your discretion. Just take some bacon and sprinkle it right over top of all that cream cheese. I have a few test wings going in the back just to make sure my oil's at the right temp and see how fast they're going to cook. Now we're going to take these topped jalapeno poppers and throw them in the oven for about 20 minutes, and we'll start frying up some chicken. Alright, so in this pan on the left we have some mozzarella sticks going, and on the one on the right we have some chicken going. Now I've made a lot of chicken, so I'm not going to fry it all. I think this is just about enough for me for watching one game tonight. But as you can see, we're definitely keeping these under the smoke point. So it's important to constantly check the temperature of your oil. This one's sitting at about 340, but that's fine. We want it to be in the neighborhood of 350, so that's not terribly far off. We're going to fry both of these for about 6 minutes each, and then we're going to make some sauce in the meantime, so stay tuned for that. Alright guys, now for some wing sauce. So what I'm going to do here is a lemon honey sriracha sauce. So I have some honey. I'm going to scant out, just kind of measure it out here. About a tablespoon of honey. That looks great. I'm going to get about 2 tablespoons of sriracha. Just kind of estimate. You can use a measuring spoon. I got one out just in case, but I don't always use it. And then just a quick squeeze of lemon. Get it everywhere. That's the point. And then that tablespoon from before, use it to mix everything up. Now that honey's going to kind of collect at the bottom a little bit, so you really want to make sure you get it stuck off the bowl and get it incorporated to the other ingredients. Whatever you have on hand works for this. Use a spoon, use a fork, use a measuring spoon, whatever you got. And then since we scanned it out, we don't know exactly what's in it, so let's just take a little test piece of chicken, give it a little dip, and see what we like. Oh, that was spot on for me. Yep. 1 part honey, 2 parts sriracha, quick squeeze of lemon. That's perfect for me. So I'm going to take this glass bowl and take about half of the chicken, throw it in this glass bowl, grab my sauce, pour it on, get rid of this bowl, just give it a quick toss. This is the fun part. You're going to have fun with this. Get everything nice and tossed, and then I'm just going to plate it right here on the cutting board. Now for these other wings, I'm just going to take about a capful of olive oil, not a humongous amount, just a small capful, and drizzle it on there. Give that a quick toss. Then Then I'm going to take my lemon pepper from before, the same lemon pepper that we seasoned these with, and it's going to make almost like a dry rub. So I'm going to give a healthy amount here. And then just give it a good toss. And then I'll plate these up on a different part of the cutting board here. And now we can check on the jalapeno poppers. Alright guys, so that just about does it for this episode. We have wings going 2 different ways with the lemon pepper dry rub and the honey lemon sriracha. We've got jalapeno poppers and we've got these mozzarella sticks. Now all that's left to do is to sit back with a cold beer and watch the game, and what else do you really need? Your bracket might be busted, but your budget's not.